Hello, everyone. I'm Michelle Melville-Kashan. I am the Community Development Coordinator at Sexual Health Alliance, and today I'm with Dr. Cynthia Graham. Dr. Cynthia Graham is going to be one of our speakers at our online weekend event. This Girl is on Fire, Menopause Online Sexceptional Weekend, happening Saturday, January 25th and Sunday, January 26th, 2025. All
Mhm.
right, so let me just introduce Dr. Cynthia Graham. Dr. Cynthia Graham is currently a senior scientist at the Kinsey Institute and a professor of gender studies at Indiana University Bloomington. She has been editor-in-chief of the Journal of Sex Research since 2009. Her current research focuses on male condom use, hormonal contraceptives, women's sexuality, women's sexual pleasure, sexual problems, and sexual health among older adults. So, welcome, Dr. Cynthia Graham.
Thank you. Great. I'm so excited about being involved in this event. I think it's going to be great. And it's a great panel that you have as well.
Yes, we have some really great presenters at this event. So, can you tell us a little bit about what you're going to be talking about?
Sure. So as you just said, most of my research, well, really all of my research is focused for throughout my career on sexuality, particularly women's sexuality. So I'm going to be focusing mostly, well, pretty much wholly on menopause and sexuality and broadly. So one of the areas I will definitely be talking about, because we have some really interesting data on, is masturbation and how women use masturbation, how that fits into their relationship, if they're in a relationship, how it affects their sexual pleasure and satisfaction as well. And we do have, I know that Justin Lehmiller will be talking about effects on menopausal symptoms of masturbation. So that's one of the things. The other really interesting topic, these are under-researched topics, is I'll be talking about orgasm and how that might change. So over the lifespan and with aging, we really know very little about that, even though actually one of the criteria for a kind of disorder of orgasmic problems is change in the quality of orgasms or change in the ease of being able to reach orgasm. But we have very few studies have looked at that, just really a couple. So I'll be presenting some data on that and talking about that as well. Because we've got some really nice questions asking women, has the quality of your orgasm changed over the last 10 years? And a little preview, I will say that there's a lot of variability. So for some, which I don't think is surprising, there's always a lot of variability in terms of sexuality, and particularly women's sexuality as well. Previous studies I've done in other areas related to women's sexuality has demonstrated that. But it's not all, the important message is it's not all bad news at all. Some
Yeah.
women report the quality's improved. It's gotten much better or somewhat better. But some women do say it's gotten worse. So, I mean, one of the things I'm really keen to do in future research is to try and look into what differentiates those groups. And, what is it? We don't really understand that. And it probably has quite a bit to do with relationships as well, if somebody's in a relationship. But we asked about quality of orgasm during masturbation and also if a woman was in a relationship during partnered sex. So we've really got some nice findings that I'm excited to talk about.
Yes, and I know our community is so excited for this event. And I think, like you were saying, all of these are under-researched areas. And so people are so excited to learn more, and then they can help their clients and they can educate people. And the first step is doing that research and finding out like what's causing these problems and how can we help.
Yeah, I agree completely. One other thing that I didn't mention that I will be talking about is sex toy use and among older women. We've got some really interesting new data. We're still working on writing up papers from the data, but I'll definitely be able to present some of that too. It's not something, again, that there's a handful of studies. One of them I was involved with in Europe on sex toy use among older women, but there isn't much. And the potential is that it could be something that really helps if people are having problems, if women are having problems. I think the nice thing about the studies that we've been doing is we're not focusing on problems and negative stuff. We're looking at both positive aspects of aging and sexuality, as well as there are some people that do have problems.
Right.
But there's also, as you just mentioned, there's also some ways that people can be helped with that. And they're not all physical ones either. They're not all, although that can be helpful. And I know that other people at the workshop will be talking about that a bit, probably more than me, some of the OBGYNs
Yeah.
involved. But there's also things you can do in terms of, your activities and your repertoire. And sex toys is just, again, one of those.
Yes. So that leads me to my final question for you. If you had like a takeaway or a tip for our audience, what would that be?
Yeah, that's a great question. So I think that for me, and this relates to research that I did in a big group. I was involved with a big team in Europe, 6 countries actually, and we were funded. And that's that many people who are older, so no, we're now talking about older women and menopause, adapt really well to changes with aging and with symptoms. And it's not all gloom. It's not all, the old stereotype of with menopause, this is an old stereotype, but it's still remnants of it around, that it's a time of asexuality and that people just not be switching off. And some people do, and they do decide that they don't want to be sexually active, but many do not. And even if they're not in a relationship, solo sex is something that can be really pleasurable, of course, beneficial to possibly to health and to some of the symptoms, which again, we'll be hearing about from other speakers. So I think the takeaway is there's positive aspects to aging, and we just don't hear that enough.
Right. Oh, I love that. That is a great takeaway.
Thank you.
All right. Well, thank you everyone for watching our video. If you would like to attend This Girl is on Fire Menopause Online Sexceptional Weekend, it is an event that's open to all. So you can register online. Like I mentioned, it's an online event, totally virtual. You can attend from anywhere. January 25th and 26th, 2025. You can get your tickets online at sexualhealthalliance.com, and I will also have a link to get tickets in the description below. Thank you,
Right.
Dr. Cynthia Graham.
Thanks for talking with me and look forward to the event.
Yes, thank you.